So if we take the same approach to home building, treat it as a manufacturing industry, we can crank out a lot more homes because what you can do is you can run multiple shifts. In traditional home building, it's very kind of 9 to 5. You have a job site that people go to. And if the weather's really bad, then nothing happens. Whereas if you're building in a factory, you can run 3 shifts a day. You can have robots working 24 hours or so on. So it can greatly speed up the process. It doesn't solve every problem because obviously you still need to get the home from the factory to the site. If it's more kind of a panelization, you're still doing a lot of the work on site, but you're getting rid of a lot of those kind of intermediate steps. So yeah, you could save a bunch of time on.
And does that also explain why it's often cheaper than traditional methods?
Yeah, exactly. For the same reason that the robots can do a lot of the work. So there's cost savings there, but also because you have robots doing it, they work to a higher tolerance. So, if they're programmed well, there's fewer errors, there's less waste, that kind of thing. So the cost savings can be quite substantial.
Yeah, I notice you're saying can rather than
Yeah.
is in a lot of your answers. So I guess the key question is it any faster and cheaper right now?
Short answer is no, at least not in North America. There are places where these approaches have reached scale, like in Sweden and Japan are two examples. And there they are. They are cheaper, they are faster. But in North America, no. And the reason is a lot of it has to do with scale and learning by doing. So I like to use the example of the solar industry, for example. You go back to the 70s, 80s, 90s, like solar panels were incredibly expensive, so they had very limited application outside of like solar calculators and the like. Some people would put them on the roof, but they weren't a very cost effective way of generating electricity. But as companies started producing more and more solar panels, they got better at it. The technology improved, and there were vast improvements made by learning by doing. So the same idea applies here. We are at a point in the innovation curve where it is tends to be more expensive than traditional methods because we haven't reached scale yet. But if we can create the conditions for these companies to produce that volume, along with, you need robust competition. So we need like multiple of these companies, multiple approaches. We should be able to see a vast improvement in speed and cost.